Hey guys! In the last video we looked at how the understanding behind the short method for division, why it actually works and the steps behind it. In this video we'll just look at simplifying the short method for division. So let's jump in and find ourselves a division calculation. So here we have 972 divided by 8. So if you remember from before, the number we are dividing by is called the divisor, and the number we are dividing is the dividend. So like in the other methods, I'm just going to give myself a bit more room here. I'm just going to label where each of the digits falls into place value, because most of these methods, including this one, operate on place value basically. So let's have a look at the first number, the 3-digit number, 972. So the 2 is in the units column, or the ones column. The 7 is in the tens column, and the 9 is in the hundreds column. The 8 is by itself and is just the units column. Okay, so to start this method, we draw ourselves a little sort of corner of a box. Some people call it that, like a bus stop, but actually to my mind it would be more like a fallen down bus stop, which don't know, just seems a bit strange to me. Anyway, and it still operates on place value. So if you want to divide up the little box into its different place values, so that'll be our hundreds, this will be our tens, and then if we extend the line, this will be our units. Okay, I'm just going to shuffle it along a bit, give me some more room at the other end. Okay, so we start off by drawing a little box like this. Now, it doesn't look like much, really, it's just to help us organize it. And this is where we'd lay our hundreds, tens, and units. So this is where we're going to put in our dividend. So we've got 9 hundreds, 7 tens, and 2 units. Then we're just going to place our divisor just to the left here to remind us what we are grouping by. Now, some people often say it's handy just to note down your times table for whatever the divisor is, in this case 8. So I'm just going to write down the first few in the 8 times table: 8, 16, 24, 32, and 40. We may need some more, but we'll get to that when we get to it. So like we looked at before with understanding this short method, we need to ask the question, how many groups of 8 can we make in each column? So let's start, we always start with our division methods on the left hand side. Unlike in addition, subtraction, and multiplication methods, we start on the right hand side. In division, we start in the leftmost column on our place value. So we're going to ask, how many groups of 800s can we make? Now we have got 900s there, so 8 only goes into 9 once, so we can only make one group of 800. So what we would do is we put a 1 above in our hundreds column. What that also means, though, is that we have got one remainder, which we can't fit into a group, because 1, 8 is 8, and we've got 900s here. We can only make one group of 800. So what we're going to do is we're going to move that 100 into the tens column. And when you move 100 into the tens column, that then becomes 10 tens. So in the tens column now we have 10 tens and 7 tens, which means we have got 17 tens. So I'm just going to simplify that a bit and write in a 1 to tell us we have 17 tens. Now once again, we're going to ask the same question. How many groups of 8 tens can we make? Now we've got 17. Now I know one group of 8 is 8. 2 groups of 8 are 16. 3 groups 24. So we can't make 3 groups of 8 from 17, but we can make 2 groups of 8, which is 16, because 8 goes into 17 twice. So it goes, I can make 2 groups of 8, it goes in twice, so I write a 2 above it, but you'll notice then I'll have 1 remainder. So I can make 2 groups of 8, so 8 goes into 17 twice, with 1 remainder. Now once again, we're going to move that 1 remaining 10 into the units column. So that means when you move a 10 into the units, that now becomes 10 units, or 10 ones. So now we have 10 ones plus the 2 ones that were already there, which means now we have 12 ones, or 12 units. Okay, and then we ask the question again, how many groups of 8 can we make out of 12? So how many times does 8 go into 12? Now if I refer back to this, it's fairly straightforward, this one, but I can make 1 group of 8, but I can't make 2 groups of 8. So what I would do is I just put a 1 above that, because 8 goes into 12 once, and we would have 4 remainders. If you're not sure about the remainders, counting up's quite a good idea. So 1 8 is 8, then 8 9 10, well, you can't see my fingers there. 8 9 10 11 12. We have got 4 remainders. Okay, now we can leave the calculation there, and our total would be what is on the top line here in its place value. So our answer could be 121 with a remainder of 4. However, we can keep going with this into decimals, and it's not as scary as it seems. What you have to remember is that there is a decimal point at the end of this number. After the units column, there is a decimal point. I think I'm just going to need to move this down a wee bit. Okay. Just remember that there is nothing in these columns. So the next column along would be the tenths column. There is nothing there, but that's absolutely fine, because we can just say there's nothing there. There are 0 tenths. We may want to extend our line to make it look a little bit more pretty. Now, we have to remember our decimal place, so we can just put a decimal place up here. Then we're going to do the same thing. Now, remember I said I had 4 remainders here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to move those 4 units into the next column, which is my tenths column. So 1 unit would give me 10 tenths. 4 units would mean I would have 40 tenths. Plus the ones that are already there, which as we just said were nothing, I've got a total of 40 tenths. Then we can ask the same question. How many groups of 8 tenths can I make in this column? So how many times does 8 go into 40? And there I can refer to my hastily constructed, I'm going to move this down to make it a little bit clearer, hastily constructed times table here. So 1 8 is 8, that certainly goes in once. 2 8s are 16, it goes in twice. 3 8s are 24, it goes in 3 times. 4 8s are 32, so it goes in 4 times. 5 8s are 40, and so it actually goes in perfectly. So 8 goes into 40 5 times, so we can make 5 groups of 8 tenths. And so we put the 5 above it, and we don't have a remainder. So our answer then could be, which is the same thing, 121.5. And that is basically how we use the short method. It looks a little bit confusing, and I apologise if I've made it a little bit more complicated with the arrows and numbers I've drawn, but you can simplify it yourself. Really key to this is just understanding your times tables and just keeping track of what you're moving along each time. And that's how we use the short method. So till next time, have fun.